Okay, but I need to ask you a serious question. Would you rather Cameron be in the woods with a bear or with a man?
This is a very odd question.
Like, she ends up being in the woods alone and is either faced with a bear or with a man. Which would you rather?
Has she developed any skills?
No. She's just her 5-year-old self.
Maybe the bear.
Why?
It might not do anything.
Okay, if you had to leave your daughter in the forest with either a man or a bear, which would you choose?
Well, I think both options kind of suck. I don't know this man. Oh, gosh. Don't know anything about the man.
No, nothing about the man.
Anything about the bear?
Nothing about the bear.
Oh, my gosh. I feel like it's an impossible choice. Which just shows you how much I don't trust other people. I don't know.
Are y'all realizing that myself and other women are saying bear because we would quite literally rather die? And then we have some people saying, well, not all bears, just because one bear did it doesn't mean that all bears would do it. You shouldn't be scared of all bears. Let's get a lineup of bears and you show me which one I should be scared of. In this Target right now, you point out to me which men I should and should not be scared of. Well, I don't know. Exactly. At least a bear wouldn't show videos and photos and dap up their buddies after. At least a bear couldn't say the words, well, she liked it, she asked for it. A bear would probably leave you alone even after you were dead. To get most bears to leave you alone, all you have to do is scream loud enough. Can't say the same. Women are asking their guy best friends, their boyfriends, their husbands, their fathers, and they're all saying the same thing. Why do you think that is? Bears don't grasp the concept of wrong and right, but you know who does. At least a bear didn't pretend to be your friend for months beforehand just to get what it wanted in the end.
If I survive the bear attack, I won't have to see the bear at family reunions. The worst thing the bear can do is kill me. The bear sees me as a human being. After what those men did to that monitor lizard, the bear...
Sorry. That last one got me. The bear sees you as a human being.
No, it sees you as a snack.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm just curious for the people in the comments. Like, I get what these women are trying to say. Essentially, like, there are terrible things that men have done to women, and they're related. The people are supposed to be closest. A lack of humanity. Okay. The bear sees you as a... On what planet do bears see you as a human? You think they care about your needs, your aspirations, your career goals? You think they care? If they're hungry, they're just going to eat you. You know how like a rapist will just, they don't care about who you are, they're just gonna grape you, they're gonna essay you or whatever, right?
That's a bear.
And that's objectifying. It's illegal. It's immoral. You really think a bear's hungry, just gonna eat you? Is that seeing you as a human? Aren't you just a piece of meat? But like, you know how they say, oh, this man just sees me as a piece of meat. You know, he doesn't really see me as a person. The bear literally sees you as a piece of meat. But I just imagine, it's like a bear's eating you.
It's prisoner
from your asshole. That's how, is it bears? No,
that's hyenas. God damn.
It's okay. You know what? My head, all animals, okay? They eat you from your asshole first, okay? So they got you bent over doggy style, getting chomped on, okay? And you're over there being like, well, at least he sees me as a human. Yes, okay, hey. And you be like, well, hey, at least he saw me as, human. Oh.
No, when you explain it like that, I can see why they choose bear.
Like to get their ass ate?
The bears are not safe.
That's wild.
The bear doesn't get enjoyment out of it.
Well, how do you know that? How do you know that? I'm actually fairly confident that there's a euphoric feeling that all animals feel when they're chomping at an animal for sustenance.
You ever own cats? I mean, I'm talking about outside cats. The way they're strolling, la 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 la. Here, a rat. I caught it for you. Enjoy. They happy as a...
The bear didn't pretend to be my friend for months beforehand. No one will say that I liked the bear attack. No one will talk about the bear's bright future. If the bear and the man both want to hurt me and I scream loud enough, there's a better chance that the bear will actually run away. A bear wouldn't film it and send it to all his friends. The men getting angry at this don't realize that there are fates worse than death. Ask Junko Furuta, Sadie Robinson, Shanann Watts if they would choose the man or the bear.
People sent us this. Obviously, a lot of folks are upset about it. Here's what I think. I think it's perfectly fine if you're going to have some level of wariness around men. Okay, you guys went to the nth degree and compared us to fucking bears. That's crazy.
Yo.
I think that's the disrespectful part. I don't think most men would have had an issue if women said, you know, I generally feel unsafe around men I don't know. I think we've heard that enough to be like, okay, I can get it. The bear thing is like, you're making us to, like we're fucking terrorists or some shit.
I really wish someone would compare women to animals, and it would be perfectly fine on social media.
That's
I'm
crazy.
like, you just did what? You just did what?
I have this bit I normally do on stage about walking home late at night and coming out of the subway station, turn the corner, and there's a woman in front of me. And there's like a weird tension because it's just me and her on the street. There's nobody else, right? And I know she's scared because I can kind of see her body language change. And then I'm starting to get scared because I can tell she's, like you have this weird desire as a man who you're just alone on the street with this person. You want them to feel safe. But how do you make a stranger feel safe? Because I know I don't want to do nothing, but she doesn't know that. But because I'm a man, inherently that's the thing that happens. I understand what this makes me think of.
It makes you think of what?
This makes me think of, at least in my younger years, when I'd just be chilling in my neighborhood and then a cop would stop me and ask me questions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you bothering me?
Yeah.
Like, you don't suspect me of a crime, nothing, but you're just checking
You're just
probing.
probing for
and
shit
why
that's not
it's
there.
justified is because they've seen other black dudes do things. They think they could just bother me and ask me questions like with some like an idea of like criminal intent. And it's insulting. It's insulting because I go through great lengths to be an upstanding citizen, do everything the right way, pay all that shit, and I still gotta deal with this bullshit just because I got the same skull as. That's the frustration that you start to feel as a man. And people feel justified in this, and they say it's perfectly acceptable to have that reaction, this and that. I'm gonna ask a question. Would you say it's perfectly acceptable to have that attitude and to proclaim this stuff very proudly, openly, if we were talking about black people? Just ask the question. Can you, as women of all colors, come out and say, I don't like being around black people, I'm scared because statistically speaking, blah, blah, blah. What would happen?
Cancel.
And here's why that feels unfair to me as a black person. Some black people do bad, so then every time I go outside of my house, even though I've done nothing wrong, there's a certain level of prejudice against me in certain situations, right? And anyone will tell me otherwise, I don't want to hear it. You as a man feel prejudiced against. People feel unsafe around you inherently at random times of the day. You hear by the way people talk about you online. There's prejudice, okay? Even if you've not done anything, because you are a male and other males have done bad things, there's a certain way that people are going to look at you. My only question is, why is this version so acceptable all the time, but then the black version of this is not socially acceptable? I'm curious.
Because we're not being specific when we say men. And when we say men, the default is white. I think so.
When they say they feel unsafe around men, they're not just meaning white men. They mean all men.
I understand what you're saying. I understand why you're saying that. And yes, I see they mean all men. But when I feel like whenever they do generals like that, they really go with the default. I remember I was having this conversation with, it was straight up a feminist, and we were talking about prejudice and stuff like that. And she was talking about men, and she was talking about men, and she was talking about me being a man. And I was like, bitch, don't you realize that I'm also a black man? So you're a white woman, technically I have more prejudice than you. And then she just flip open, you know what I mean? She's like, oh shit, my bad. I didn't realize that. It's weird, like in some kind of weird way, when they say, I feel like whenever they say men like that, they really envision the default of the white dude. So it's okay when we talk about men.
You guys want to shut down this whole conversation? Just flip it on the women. Just flip it on. I want to see all these women on TikTok and tell me you'd rather be in the woods with a bear rather than a black man.
That's wild.
And there's a bunch of sisters be like, bitch, say less. You niggas ain't shit. At this point, I think this kind of rhetoric is acceptable. but it is incredibly prejudiced. And I say this because it makes it so that when, as a man, I'm walking through life, I'm always having to be aware of the fact that I'm a male and that there's a certain level of fear that women are inherently going to have. And I have to compensate for that. But I want you to understand how unfair that is to me as an individual, because I've done nothing wrong. I've not put my hands on nobody. I've not catcalled. I've not made any comment. But there's an inherent air of like, well, you know, even perfect example is the daycare example. Dudes are not allowed to work in daycares in a lot of places because there's inherent prejudice against dudes. Now, look, a lot of men okay, great. Even when you think about the percentages and numbers, it's not so high that it would make sense to prejudice against everybody. Humans don't operate off numbers. They're not percentage based. They don't care about that. If you go through life and you have 3 bad experiences with Asian guys, you're going to be like, no more Asian guys, and that's enough. Even though you've worked with Asian people, you've encountered them at the store, you've seen them in back alleys by yourself, and nothing has happened. If you have, sometimes humans can just flip and switch. So I just think it's endemic of human nature and the way our brains process information that people default. But the truth is, you encounter men by yourself all the time and nothing ever happens. Most men just want to go home and play their video games. They don't actually give a fuck about you. They don't want to touch you. But the way that these people talk, they make it sound like vast majority of men are out to do something evil. And, you know, I'm not even going to act like I'm holier than thou, because I'm pretty sure if I had a daughter, I would tell her to be wary of men too. I would. Not to the point where you're out here flagrantly being disrespectful, but you have to be aware of the realities and to adjust accordingly.
Would you rather our daughter be in the woods with a bear or a man?
I would say a man.
Why?
Because I could be that man.
No. No.
Flipped it on you. What? What? They did the whole switcheroo. You didn't think about that, huh? What's up? What's up? Man. Why? Me. I'm a man. She stuck with me. She stuck with a man, not a bear. The man is me.
Not you, a stranger.
Okay, so brown bear.
Why does it have to be a brown bear?
I'm just assuming that's whether black bear, brown bear.
Just a bear, Kenny.
I think I would still say man.
Really? You want our 13-year-old daughter
It's not. Oh, it's not. It's not what I thought it was. But really, you're not thinking like me. So really, you're really gonna do? Hey, I already have my answer. And it's not so much that I didn't answer the question. I answered the question. You don't like my answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's that. Yeah.
If I found a 13-year-old in the woods, I would be like, okay, let me try and help you to safety.
Aw, that's really cute.
And a bear would be like, roar, I'm gonna eat you. The odds are better with the man. The odds are better with the man.
I don't know if that's true. I think you're just assuming that all men are like you.
No, we'll just take like 10.
I think you're assuming that not bear are just bears. There are more. No, not all men are like him. All right, but all bears are bears. This is not fucking Disney Channel, okay? The bear's not gonna take the kid in, and then the kid's gonna become Tarzan. That's Hollywood. It's not how that's how it happens.
I don't think these women think that's how it happens.
Line up 10 men.
Oh, this is not going well.
And then say 6 out of the 10 men are good. Those are better odds than one bear, like leaving my child with a bear. What is the bear gonna? The bear can't feed the child. The bear could, eat the child.
And what might the man do to the child?
Hopefully read stories, pass the time, and get him to safety. Walk upstream. Bears will just take you to their stream, and you just watch them eat food and stuff. Or, like I said, the bear would maul the child.
What if a man mauls the child?
Look, I got a D in stats in college, so I'm just trying to weigh my options here. The bear, it's not like Homeward Bound. Like, a bear will kill you.
The man might kill you.
Yes, everything might kill you, but what is she gonna do? Jump up in a tree and the bear's trying to get her while a random man, maybe the man's lost too and they can help each other out. Now, if the man was living in the woods and wanted to be away for some reason, then that would be suspect. But if they're both lost and they need to find a safe.
And the caption of this says, "My sweet innocent baby husband just sees the best in everyone."
This bitch. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're aggressive today.
Sorry. Yes, I got time today, bro.
Apparently.
Bro. My sweet my wife would film me. Like I didn't. You're gonna put that on the web, and you're gonna diminish who I am as a person. My sweet baby husband. First and foremost, bears can climb up trees pretty good. 1, 2. What is this child gonna do from November to April? Cause bears hibernate. You're all on your own.
You know, we've covered a lot of videos on this channel where you have dudes accosting women, being hyper aggressive, things like that. I think back to that video of that lady at the gas station surrounded by 6 or 7 dudes. And like, you know, you would ask me like, hey, do you want your daughter in the woods or surrounded by 7 guys at a gas station in fucking rural Detroit or some shit? Like, shit, probably choose the bear in that situation. But what?
There's more chances of her dying with the bear. There's more chances of her dying with the bear.
Okay. 7 gas station? Middle of the woods?
You said gas stations?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It don't need to make sense. Let this hypothetical happen. Your 5-year-old wandered into the gas station.
And 7 magical
Hey,
things happen.
hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
We go to the strip club. It's 100 miles away.
Your example was crazy.
I know.
Now you're just inventing shit.
I know. I am.
You're just
absolutely.
inventing shit. No, I see what you mean.
Listen, I do think this was an interesting conversation because it made me think about prejudice and all this other stuff, and how much of it is acceptable, and how much we all engage in it to some degree. You know, it's kind of like the cop video we just did, where the guy saw an older white woman and treated her very differently than he would some nigga in the hood or whatever, right? He allowed her to do whatever. But I mean, like most of us at the end of the day are going to treat some old lady much differently than we would a young man. Most of us are going to treat a young woman very differently than we would we all prejudicially, with prejudice, engage in certain social behaviors, and we treat other people as a threat. So I don't think it's that abnormal that people talk about men this way. I just think when it's to the extreme of like an animal that's a predator,